Ladies and gentlemen, after like 7,600,000 quintillion, bintillion, 7 septillion, 1,600 septillion, quisidillion, barapatillion, million years of not posting on this YouTube channel. Guess who's back? It's me, Tizzy Tones, the greatest person to ever hold the pencil in since the beginning of the universe, and the person who's soon to become the greatest animator on the planet. I'm back, and guess what? I finally bought a drawing tablet because, ladies and gentlemen, having the right tools for the job is just as important as having the right skills. Ladies and gentlemen, after a long time, a long time of making animations on my tablet, with my fingers, making animations with a mouse, making animations with my failed DIY stylus pens, the opportunity presented itself for me to finally get a drawing tablet, and I was like, yes, my time has come to finally become the greatest animator in the world, and compete with the artists at the top, who are actually using drawing tablets instead of their fingers to draw, So yeah, I bought the tablet, it's here, and maybe now that it's here, I might actually start to work on the projects I'm supposed to be, like Blur the New Kings, the Nutcracker, yeah, the other stuff, yeah. Because the tablet, it's been, it's working better than I expected. Yeah, I expected a lot, and my expectations were met. Genuinely, impressed. What tablet did am I using? It's the 11 Moons drawing tablet. The hand painted ones. Don't know who made it, but I love them still. Yeah, it's working perfectly. It's working perfectly, and it's working perfectly, and it's made my work very, very fast. Very, 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 very fast. Yeah, because before the drawing tablet, I used to spend like 6 million years on one drawing. Because it's like, wow, you spend like 10 minutes on the, 10 minutes on the 10 minutes on the sketch. Nah, fuck it. 15 minutes on the sketch. 15 minutes on the sketch, and then another 20 minutes on the coloring, and then maybe plus 6 million years on adding like the final details and stuff. And then after that, I have to like look at the painting, and then I'm like, wow, I just spent 7 hours on this drawing. I hate it, and then I have to delete it, then start over, and then the process repeats itself. But now with the drawing tablet, I've just been spending like 10 minutes per drawing, just 5 minutes for the sketch, 5 minutes for the coloring, 5 minutes for the maybe an additional 2 minutes for like corrections and stuff. And I'm also becoming a professional animator. Yeah, I'm also becoming a professional. I love this, and now with the tablet, I've just been drawing everything, animating everything, on my mind, because I now no longer have to like fully commit, because before I had the drawing tablet, it's like when you start an animation, you're like, wow, you're even scared, you're already scared of the animation you're about to make, like, fuck, I'm supposed to do this with a mouse, and you already know, like, wow, I'm probably going to be working on this for like the next 7 hours, and then I'll still won't be satisfied with the result. So it's like, but with the drawing tablet, I can just, open FilePacker, open Pencil 2D, just start drawing what's on my mind, start animating what's on my mind, and then maybe just 12 minutes later, I already have like an animated short, sketch animation. And this is nice. Now that I have the right tools, which is a drawing tablet, the only excuse I have is my skills. Are my skills good enough to make me the greatest animator in the world? I have no idea. We'll find out together. We'll see that in the next like 1 month. The animation, if I actually start working on the animation projects I'm supposed to be, I have no idea, But yeah, I'm just excited, and I'm just as excited as you are. I know you're very excited to see what I'll make with this drawing tablet, because so far I've been making, masterpieces since I got this drawing tablet. Just check this out. Check this muscle daddy out. I've also been recreating some of the animations I did before I had the drawing tablet, like this. This one's before the drawing tablet. This one's after the drawing tablet. You can see the difference. You can see how, you can see the skill issue. This one looks like it was made by an amateur, but then this one looks like, oh, this is a professional artist, a guy who's been doing this shit, a guy who's good at his craft, he knows his stuff, professional type shit. Ooh, just look at that. But yeah, we'll see the other masterpieces I'll make, in the next month. We'll find out together, if I can actually be the best and we shall go on the journey together of me trying to become the greatest animator in the world, And yeah, if you watch this video, thank you for watching. If you like, please like. If you don't like, you're free to dislike. Either way. But whatever you do, just share this shit with your friends. Tell them Tizzy Tones is back. and he's about to make some horrible, horrible animations. That he definitely shouldn't, but now he has a drawing tablet. So maybe they might not be as horrible as they used to be. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one, in the next horrible masterpiece I'll make, you know. Thank you for watching. Tune in, bruh. Bye, bye, bye. Have a good day. I love you guys and my drawing tablet.